Welcome to hempSMART Live. What you're about to see is going to change your world. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome our National Field Director, Mr. Doug Skardal.
Thank you, Karen. But, you know, I was stuck. Nobody had ever shown me that there was anything else, so I went to college, got 2 degrees. That was the life I had planned for myself and my family, and I just, you know, I was paralyzed, and I didn't know. And then one day somebody came to me and showed me a business and a model like this, and it opened up my eyes to something that I'm, you know, like, and the reason I'm bringing this up is there are millions of people out there. I think we kind of think that everybody knows what this is. But there are a lot of people out there, and I tell our folks every day, you never know who you're going to throw a lifeline to. I mean, there might be somebody that's really hurting. So that day, somebody changed my life forever. They showed me a way to win, and I think that's the most important gift from the business side of what we do that we can do for folks, and that is to give them hope and set them free. So real quickly, I talk about the American dream, and we're quickly becoming a global company, so I'm going to have to change that up somehow. But you know, it's my belief that most people, if they had a choice, they would not just earn a living, but they would create a life. But again, maybe nobody showed them that that's possible or how they could do that. But if we could sit down and create our own ideal life, I believe that we would want to do more than just pay our bills and do more than just get by. I believe that most people, if they had a choice, if they wanted to have an honest conversation, that they would want more satisfaction and fulfillment in their life and passion for what they do. So that when they go to bed at night, they just say, wow, just that feeling, you know, that kind of raises the hair up on the back of your neck. There are not a lot of people that are out there enjoying that. Another thing for me, and that I believe, you know, that people have said and shared, and that is that if you're going to have a possibility to go create this amazing life, you want to have the years to be around to enjoy it, and you also want to have the vitality, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of those things, so that for years to come, that you have the ability to fully enjoy all of your hard work and what you might be able to create or do. And finally, a big part of what we do, and a lot of why people are in this service-oriented industry, and that is to be able to spend your time doing something that is rewarding and that you're feeling like you're helping others and lifting them up. You see, at my old job, I had to sell somebody out, so to speak, or outperform them to be able to be promoted or do something. And I didn't want to do that, and it wasn't a possibility. So what I love about what we do, and I think that every person out there, if they have the possibility to do it, they would want to, you know, anybody ever heard a rising tide raises all ships? They would want to be involved in something like that. So here's the challenge, guys, is that we know this, and I'm not picking on anybody that has a job, don't get me wrong, I'm not putting anybody down, but the reality for a lot of folks out there working for someone else is that it rarely provides the desired lifestyle and choices that, if we want to be honest and we said that we wanted, that those people are getting to experience, a lot of us. In other words, at the end of the month, there's way more month than there is money for most folks, right? So the available options generally require, if you think about this, unless you're a professional athlete, you invented something, or you're a rock star, that's not really good because we have a few rock stars in the room here today, right? But, you know, you generally, in order to have an option, a person would need a lot of capital. So to invest, they open up a Subway, open up a brick and mortar business, and it takes a lot of money to do that, and if somebody had that kind of money, they probably wouldn't be looking for a solution anyway. Although we do attract a lot of folks. The other thing is a significant amount of risk. So whether it's speculation, real estate, a lot of the other options out there, that doesn't sound very good either. You know, neither of those things sound good, or they're not available. So my point is that many people out there, our market of millions and millions of people, are folks that either don't believe they can win or nobody's ever told them that they have a great way to win in this life for themselves. So they end up trading time for money and no way really to get ahead. So today we'd like to talk for the next few moments about what I like to call hempSMART, the perfect opportunity. You know, the reality is that millions of people every year join a business like this, and I joined some businesses early on in my career too. And the sad reality is, a lot of us, we join those because Aunt Edna said it was a great thing. Are there any Ednas in the room, first of all? Because somebody that we maybe barely know, or it's someone without the experience in our family says, this is great, you have to do this. And the challenge with that is, Aunt Edna may not really know. So it's up to us, it's important, as we go into the next part of the program, it's important that we do our due diligence, because it's great to have an idea and a vehicle and a business to join, but if we just join any old thing, in 3 or 6 months we're going to be broke, unhappy, and really bummed out and down on things. So it's up to us to do our due diligence. So I'd like to talk quickly, and we've got a great guest coming up in just a moment, but the first thing, what I realized in 20 plus years in the industry and talking to a lot of folks and being part of teams and things is, we owe it to ourselves, if we're considering a vehicle or a business or a solution, to find the right one. And there's 5 key things. You may have a different list, but for me it's really been about 5 things to be able to know that I'm making the absolute best educated decision I could possibly make. The first one is huge for hempSMART, it's huge for our industry, and it really is big right now. You all know that. Everybody in this room knows that. If you're watching this, you know that. And that is the incredible right timing for what you're checking out. Because if you don't have the right timing, really, nothing else really matters. So we know that we're at the beginning of explosive growth for the hemp and CBD industry. You know that because you see it everywhere, you hear about it everywhere, and the real telltale sign is when the drug companies start trying to get involved, you know there's going to be big money in it. Am I right? Guys? Okay. And a lot of other things. We know that this industry is doubling in size or more every year and accelerating. That's crazy. We know that respected entities like, I'm just using an example, but you could pick a ton of examples out there, but Forbes and many other respected entities saying that this will be a $2 billion industry in the next few years, $3 billion very quickly. And this is, we're talking exponentially. So you don't find a lot of markets or products or things, and that's what I really looked at, honestly, in coming to hempSMART. That's what I looked at. I said, if I'm going to be involved in something, I want to be involved with the big one that is absolutely exploding and poised to capitalize on that. That just makes sense. So interest exploding. People everywhere know there's a buzz. This is becoming, I think Casey said it, this is becoming a lot easier to share. Not only from a product perspective, but people know this is the one. This is the big deal. They know that. It's everywhere. There are a lot of new opportunities in our market due to new legislation, laws changing, and the loosening up of restrictions that are making access to information available to more and more people more easily around the world. And finally, in-demand natural products that are producing results, solution-oriented results. And like Casey pointed out, when people speak about their own stories, their own testimonials, what happened for them, you can't stop that. It would be like pouring gas all over the ground and dropping them. You're not going to be able to do anything about it. So that's where we're at. So that's incredible right timing. That's point one. Point two, I would love to bring up my esteemed colleague. You've heard from her already today. It's an important facet of what we're speaking about. Number two, the right products is incredibly important. Please welcome back Paula Vetter.
I'm going to see if I can make the slides work this time. I'm here to tell you that business in a box is a brilliant concept. When I first got involved with hempSMART, I'm a holistic nurse practitioner, a certified herbalist. I've been in the natural supplement industry for years, a lot of times evaluating them for my clients. I started sharing just from my home, having some friends over. It's like Casey talked about, networking with your network of people who know people. So I have half a dozen people in my living room to share these. And as much as I'm passionate about the products and I know what goes into the products and I love talking with Dave about formulating products, your people do not need that information. We don't want to fire hose them. It's absolutely right. When people make a purchase, most purchases are based on emotion, not on features of a product. Never talk about features, talk about benefits. People want to know what's in it for them. How's this going to help me? Speak to me about where I am and what's going on in my life. So that's the important thing. And Business in a Box is just a very easy way of sharing the message of what we have in our products. So Business in a Box is a self-contained system. I can't juggle the box and this and the slides, but Business in a Box, thank you, Bruce. See, he's low-tech and high-tech. I love it. And keep in mind, this is the wowza pack, as Casey says. This is going to be evolving as we have new products, and there are already several things in the pipeline. So this will be a living, changing, breathing kind of vehicle for you. But it's a self-contained system. I, either in my living room or a living room of one of my associates or a chiropractor's office or my naturopath's office, I take this and we sit around with a few people and explain the power of what we have, and it's very, very simple. Again, the message is to educate, tell people the basics about what's in it for them, what they can expect from a healthy endocannabinoid system, and you don't even have to use that word. But we educate, we inspire by the passion that we share, and that was really my message this morning, is I wanted you to get and to wrap your minds and your hearts around how unique and powerful we are. That we're offering something that nobody else in the industry has in terms of the quality and the power of our products to support cellular health, to make every cell in your body function the way it's supposed to. And then we empower people. How do we do that? They get the Business in a Box kit and share it with others, and they consume the products. We're empowering them physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. All of those together for better health. So it's very, very simple. You don't need a lot of high-tech equipment. You don't need a PowerPoint presentation. You don't need a 13-page handout. You go and say, try this. It works. When you go and you're buying a product, you're probably not looking a lot at labels. I personally am into organic food. If I pick up something and I see it's organic, it's not GMO, I don't care whether it came from Nebraska, Iowa, or Ohio. That's not important. I know that it has been certified, that it's safe. We have the COAs on all of our products. You don't need to go into all that with people. What is CBD, cannabidiol? Our bodies make cannabis-like products. We naturally produce those. We're hardwired to use them. People are shocked when I tell them there are cannabinoids in breast milk. They're also in chocolate. Ladies, you knew that. Intuitively, you knew that. They're in truffles. They're even in carrots. Trace amounts of cannabinoids and lots of natural substances. So it's not something foreign to our body. It's something we're hardwired to use. As we talked about, it's the orchestra conductor of the body. People get that analogy. The endocannabinoid system controls multiple body functions that help us to heal and repair in the way we were designed to heal and repair. Argument closed. Hemp versus marijuana. We know that hemp has very low percentage THC. By law, it has to be less than 0.3%. We take that out. Our products are THC-free, no detectable THC. If you're drug tested, that blood test or urine test looks for breakdown products of THC. If you have no THC, there can be no breakdown products of THC. You don't have to worry about anything that alters your mental function. We talked about the endocannabinoid system and its power. We know that it orchestrates multiple functions, as we talked about. It balances all of our hormones, our sex hormones, our thyroid hormones, our adrenal hormones in times of stress. It regulates our brain chemistry. So all of the challenges that we may have when we're battling things internally, externally, the endocannabinoid system is playing its part in those. And it supports the wisdom of every cell in the body to heal and regenerate. Inflammation is huge. Inflammation now is an illness. It's a codable diagnosis that your doctor can put on your insurance bill. But we know that inflammation is the root cause of most chronic health problems. The endocannabinoid system deals with that. If we optimize the function of the endocannabinoid system, what do you think is the result? Let people draw their own conclusion. And once they try the products, they have the proof. Not all CBD is equal. As we said, ours is organically grown. We're tested for herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals, bacterial contamination, and our certificates of analysis are available to anyone. So we are independently tested by third-party labs. It's not just what we say. We know that what you read on the internet is not always credible, but we have those certificates, not from our company, but from a certified expert, saying that we are what we say we are. Quality and purity testing is extremely important, and all of our products, every batch, is tested and certified. Transparency, relationship with known growers. A lot of things that people don't realize is that hemp is great for the planet because it cleans the soil. It pulls herbicides, pesticides, toxins, heavy metals out of the soil. It also absorbs carbon emissions from the atmosphere. So it's great for the planet, but where does all that stuff end up but in the hemp plant? So if you don't know where your hemp plant is grown, and it's grown in an area that's contaminated, you're not only getting CBD, but you're getting a lot of contaminants at the same time. I have people say, well, I went to the gas station and I bought some CBD and I took it for 2 weeks and I felt worse. Wonder what was in it. So you want to make sure if you're buying CBD, you're buying a good, pure, tested product. Ours is also full spectrum. We talked about the 400 compounds that are in hemp. It's not just CBD. There's other powerful cofactors that work for what we call the entourage effect. Mother Nature put them all together for a reason, and we capitalize on that. We really are not smarter than Mother Nature. We've proven that time and time again. Integrity, our company stands for doing the best, and from day one, that's been the position. You know, that conversation more than 2 years ago around Don's kitchen table is we're not going to compromise on quality. We're going to do the best. And if we do the best, it'll sell itself. All you have to do is open that door. All you have to do is to get it in someone's hands. Their experience is the rest of the picture. Once they try the product, it sells itself. You don't have to do much more. The CBD drops, and these are things that are all in the business in a box. The drops are oil-based. That's one of the things I like to point out. Some companies use CBD tinctures in alcohol. If you have someone who's in recovery or dealing with sobriety issues, they can't use alcohol. So the oil is appropriate for everyone. Tastes good, comes in 4 flavors, comes in 2 strengths. One of the things I do when I'm doing a home event or an event at one of the offices when I have a small group is I let people taste the oils. You go on Amazon for $6, you can get 100 tasting spoons, just like Baskin-Robbins uses. You can't use the droppers to put in people's mouth because you may contaminate them or touch something. So I put 2 or 3 drops of the different oils on here, let them try the flavors. Before they leave, they're ready to order at least 1 flavor. So that's just a great tip of sharing it with your friends. The pet drops, our furry friends, all mammals have endocannabinoid systems. It's not just people. So whether you're talking about adults or kids or pets, it's appropriate. I have several people using them for cats and dogs, one person using them for her goats, and 2 using them for horses. And fortunately, it's not body weight dependent. You don't have to go through 6 bottles a day for a horse. You know, the amounts really are not, in some cases, a whole lot different than they are for humans. But again, we're not talking dosage. We're talking about, you know, experimenting and seeing what your body requires for this. And it's the same with animals. The bacon flavor has been very popular with animals. I do have some people who use the, you know, the human drops, and they put some of those on the pet's food, and that's okay too. They're all human grade. I even have one guy who likes the bacon flavor better than the fruit flavor, and that's what he uses. So why not? I don't know if it's on his scrambled eggs or what, but he likes it, and it's working, so that's okay. The brain, 10 milligrams of the same premium CBD in that formula with the botanicals. I don't go into a lot on ingredients because, again, there's not a lot we can say. Yes, there's some very powerful herbs, but we can't talk about the research on what those herbs do. Let people know to try this. All of our products have a 30-day money-back guarantee. People will find that they experience evolving health and well-being once they start consuming our products. So there's absolutely nothing to lose. The brain not only helps with memory and focus and concentration and mental agility, but it also helps with the process called neurogenesis, one of Casey's favorite 50-cent words. But neurogenesis means that it helps with the development of new brain cells, laying down new infrastructure. The body's designed to do that. We didn't know 20 years ago that we need to make new brain cells, but it is possible, and CBD helps to support that process. The pain formulas, the pain cream, for almost instantaneous results. It works on, you know, muscle pain, joint pain, especially related to physical activity. Apply it locally. If you've got widespread pain that is not localized, then the pain capsules are more appropriate. Those both have the supporting botanicals that help the CBD to work synergistically, so it helps our body's own pain-relieving mechanisms work effectively. The face, CBD with botanicals, and I know we talked at lunchtime, several of you are using this, men and women alike. Absolutely amazing. It's not just surface cosmetic effects that we have from the face product, but it does help with renewal and regeneration of skin cells. Again, our body knows how to do that if we give it the right raw materials, and that's what we're doing with the face cream. Reduces the appearance of fine lines, age spots, wrinkles, and so forth. So that has been a huge seller as well. The disclaimer, if you will, the FDA says, you know, we have to be careful about what we say, and we talked about that a little bit earlier today. But CBD is not a drug. We don't claim to treat any medical condition. We do something much more powerful. The CBD products stimulate and support the body's endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system regulates all of our brain chemistry, our hormones, and inflammation in the body. So when that is functioning properly, we function much, much better. When we create a healthy environment in the body, we support the wisdom of every cell to heal and repair. So you have an extremely powerful tool in your toolbox to help people reclaim true well-being, and that's really what this is all about. So I encourage you, think about the business in a box. If you want a very simple, self-contained system, great way of sharing it. You don't need to go into a lot of science, but just let people know how this can help them, and they're ready to move forward. Okay, Doug, I'm going to let you get to the other thing.
All right, everybody, so we've talked about 2 of the 5 components. I think we've got a snapshot of the incredible timing we have, and thank you, Paula, about the product portion of that. That's definitely huge. Number 3, the right company. Let's face it, guys, you can pick the right timing and have a great experience on a product, but there are a lot of companies out there, and the reality is a lot of those aren't going to be here a year from now. So you owe it to yourselves, if you're considering something, to really look at the company itself and see, is this going to be a good fit for me, and are they really building themselves for the long haul? So with hempSMART, we're talking about a well-established, publicly traded company. We talked about that this morning. What does that mean? It means that we have to operate, MCOA, hempSMART's subsidiary, has to operate in the upper echelon, where very few companies in this space, or really any space, do. That makes me sleep well at night, somebody that I want to be partnered with. We've been having some of the best weeks consistently in the company's history. We're on a trend. We are trending up. We're matching the trend of the industry itself. We have the systems for ongoing support. We talked about things like, you're going to see them in a moment, new platforms, new tools, resources and things that make it easy so that you don't have to go reinvent the wheel or wonder how you're going to do something. We have our weekly opportunity and training calls to help for you to plug into and learn how to do things, and where we really do the heavy lifting for you. And my favorite thing really about hempSMART, and I talk about this regularly, and that is, it's a company of character and integrity, something that you don't find a lot, everywhere that you're out in industry today. I appreciate that, when we go to Robert or Don and partners and we say, we really need this platform for our folks, or we really need this for our people to be successful, the answer is, how soon can we get it? And that's the kind of company that you want to be partnered with. Number 4 is very much field-driven. It's you guys in mind. It's somebody, if you're going to put forth the time and energy and the work and the effort, you want to make sure that the things that you're seeking in life that we talked about earlier are going to be available for you. Is it about some financial rewards? Of course it is. Because let's face it, everything costs money. And that's the beauty of this business. Whether you want to help yourself, your family, your children, your church, your parents, those paychecks can help do that extra income potential. But we don't really know. Everybody has different drivers, don't they? We don't really know. Somebody else might want to travel the world and see exotic countries and build, somebody else, the big thing might be the relationships. Anybody in it for the long-term, lifelong relationships that you build with these folks? We become our best friends with each other. Someone else might, a big one for us is maybe you're into the green movement and you are all about planet Earth. That's a big driver. And you have an opportunity to do that. So the rewards in a business like this, like I said at the beginning, that I didn't know about, it isn't just a paycheck. It's what are you passionate about? At the end of the day, what's going to help you sleep? What's going to get you excited? What's going to help you? I had an alarm set this morning for 4:45, and I woke up about 3:30. And that's the kind of life that a business like this, you all know some of that. You're going to take some of this home, and you've been in situations with hempSMART already where you get so excited, maybe you don't need an alarm clock. Maybe you beat it. Maybe you don't want to set an alarm clock anymore, but the point is, you get it. So the bullets there that we have, I'm just going to read them. You see them on the banner up here, but income is, of course, something. Owning your own time and schedule, that's being your own boss. A lot of us are in a business like that because of that. We want freedom. See, I didn't have that freedom in the job that I had. I had to work those hours. I couldn't be my own boss. Taking charge of your own life, helping those you care about most, realizing your true potential. Somebody else's driver might be that they want to rise to their absolute potential, go across stage at an event like this in a few years with 10,000 peers in the Staples Center and go be recognized on stage as a top leader and achiever. This is an environment where you can do something like that. I don't know any job like that. We heard about it earlier, create long-term safety and security. This is a willable business. It's not only for your kids, but maybe your kids' kids. This is the real deal. Enjoying abundance and peer recognition we talked about, helping create sustainability, loving what you do. Okay. And finally, what I would say might be the most important, we all have our things that are our favorites, and that is that in this industry of 20 plus years for me personally, Not only have I met some of the greatest friends and colleagues and relationships, but I've met the greatest people that I've ever known. And that is because most people in this business, what attracts them is the ability to help other human beings dream, hope, achieve all those things. And we're not in competition. We're not in competition with each other. So we help each other. We help everybody on our team. We are one team on one mission. So you might be watching this somewhere else on the live today. Maybe you're a guest in the room. Maybe you're thinking, Casey talked about it a little bit earlier. What does getting involved mean? You might be thinking, well, this sounds pretty good. They've got the 5 things. I love everything I'm seeing and hearing today. How do I get involved? That might look different for each person. It might just be a matter of getting back to the person that brought you here today or that invited you to the live event and saying, can I get some more information? That would be great. They'd be happy to give that to you. You might ask to try some product. Like Paula said, go to an event or go to the person and try a couple of drops in a spoon and see how you do. You might get, you see right there on screen, you're seeing, we have our full-size samples, face and the pain cream. You might ask if you can get a full-size sample of the product. If you're opportunity driven and maybe that's your driver, I always tell folks, you never know, somebody might be very interested in the business. So you might want to take a look at our rewards program and our compensation. Or you might just look at all this today and listen to all this and say, you know what? I'm ready to get started as an associate. How do I get signed up? So we have some of those forms for you today in the room. But this is a vehicle, I promise you, that if you dedicate your focus to it and you're wanting more out of life, whatever that looks like for you, this is a vehicle and an instrument that will allow you to achieve those dreams. So thank you very much, everybody, and that's it. I hope you get started today.